Idiot! It is me, your favorite idiot, back with another video. Today, I'm actually going to be making part 3. No. Wait. Hold up. Let me check. Because I want to be right. And if I'm not, that would really suck. Yes, 3 of the Stanley's Parable. I'm going to be doing another ending. Maybe 2, maybe more. Who knows? Depending on how long they take. So, let's get right into the video.
Oh, you know it. Oh, you know it.
Sin. Well, here we go. Shall we begin the game?
This is the story of a...
I have not actually opened this in a while, which is a bit unusual, and it means that some things have reset. But we're here, we're doing it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Meeting today in the Oh, bucket!
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent.
It's
Stanley
the
checked his
bucket.
ego and then proceeded onward.
Shall we go with our bucket?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Apparently I actually went through the right door. Okay, I need to run lots of boxes. So that is not this room. Best room in the entire place.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet
can't have my
believes
bucket.
it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Actually, no. We did not. We walked downstairs. Okay, no, I remember this ending where you're ending. I'm pretty sure this is the ending where you end up walking in loops.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive
not
economy,
fired.
why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
1, 2, 3,
Maybe,
4.
he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked
Yes.
the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday
God.
bucket. Someone else's
No.
bucket, perhaps.
No,
How did
no,
I
not
end
our
up with
bucket.
someone else's bucket? This is all terribly
We need our
wrong.
bucket, we need
Surely
our
no
bucket, we
good
need
would
our
come from
bucket.
this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And
Oh
indeed,
God, no.
now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh,
Oh,
gracious,
drugs?
he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it.
I think we're
Far off
losing
in the
our
distance now,
minds.
he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
What?
Could it truly be?
Oh, God.
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one
Oh,
bucket
God.
after the next. None of them were his.
No, they're
None
not
of them
my
were his
bucket.
special bucket.
Oh God.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
We're not finding our
He
bucket.
had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh my God.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
We're dead. died, passed out. Absolute L.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Ah.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Absolute L.
Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course, he'd gone mad,
Sorry about the dog.
ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him.
Yeah, no, she's
Perhaps he
right.
didn't
We
even
all just need a
realize
bucket.
he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total
See,
clarity on
Stanley
everything.
lost
Heck
his
yes,
mind.
she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
My life kicks ass. That's my new favorite saying, yo. My life kicks ass. Again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We simply had Mr. Memo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Coffee.
Stanley simply stood, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
But down.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Okay.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Oh, sure. I think the narrator's struggling, y'all. I don't think he got
They
it.
went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay,
Confused, very
yes.
confused.
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to
Close
get
your
back to, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How
It
about,
is?
rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, bucket. My bucket is gone.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Where the fuck are
No,
we?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or
I
did
think
something
you messed
change?
up.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or...
No.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right
Yeah,
here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Ooh. See, guys, before we had the back rooms, we had the Stanley's Parable. That's what you youngins don't know about. All jokes, all jokes. Very entertaining jokes.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Everything looks good.
All of his co-workers were gone.
See?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, he was right. We just need to restart. Everything.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like we missed anything. All the rooms look like they did before. I don't see anything different.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Okay.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
You got that, narrator. No. You
Now this...
don't?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know
Your
what?
story
Since
took
I've
place in an
completely
office
forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it
win.
really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Die.
Some people win fair and square, and this
y'all
was not
dare.
one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line.
Oh,
just follow the
adventure
line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply
Yeah.
by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me.
Okay.
Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Technically.
Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure
You're
where
good,
I
you're
was
good,
going
good.
with all
I
that.
think I went the wrong
You know
way.
what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
I think I'm losing it. Yeah, this is what we call funky beats around from Why is it good?
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. Gotcha. Can we put on our funky...
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Guys, I don't think we're winning this one. Okay.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay. Sounds fun.
Now,
Trust.
yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your
Apparently
imagination.
on AO3,
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
You and me. I got you, baby girl.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
Okay.
No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
It's kind of going the way that we're going, so...
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here,
like
the
how
story is in
circular this
our
room is.
control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead
Why am I
somewhere,
walking
which
in
means that
circles?
somewhere,
Essentially,
the
you're
place where we're
voice
trying
of a
to
person in a
go,
room.
there must be a
I don't need to
reverse
walk for
door
you to
that
think.
leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly
Do we
yes,
know where
then
we're
by
going?
all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay.
Oh, hold up, what's this?
The confusion ending.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes?
Oh, God.
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a
Yes.
say in all
You
of
know
this? Is it really?
Decide.
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep
Decide.
restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be
Decide.
trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it.
we're
Whatever it
doing it,
is that
guys.
made this schedule. How would we
Sorry
even
about that
know?
little cut.
Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
Everything's
I'm not
story
quite
if
sure
you
if we're
really
in the
want it to be.
destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Yes.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
What just happened?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
That.
Stanley decided to go to the
was
meeting
too
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That was fun. Okay, come on. Let's play another one.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room,
There's
and
no
Stanley knew it
identification.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, Stanley did not, because Stanley's not a puppet. To the narrator.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I did it.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that.
Oh, kill
So,
yourself.
instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
That was really anticlimactic.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had
Where
begun.
am I?
From so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. From so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. From so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. From so far off.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What
No.
a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
Didn't think
It
that.
was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and
Okay,
intricate storytelling.
me.
It
Now
must be
you're
so
bullying
simple to be
Stanley.
you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Narrator blaming me for stuff I didn't even do over here.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't
Yeah, I
it
did a
just the
good job.
most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't
Yeah.
it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
I always love this part. It's so pretty and nice. Wish we could explore, but the narrator won't let us. Such a meanie, big old meanie. The good times. The original Stanley's Parable. First car, first kiss, the first release of...
Here's where it all began. The first collectible.
Can
Back
you
then, we
find
had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Oh god. Narrator, you speak like we're dying. We found 7. We found 7. Out of 6. We've beaten the game.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest.
did it.
Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone
wow.
6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Well, the narrator at least kinda cares. The dude tries. I'll give him that much. He tries. Might not be the best kind of trying, but he tries. So to this ending, I will be ending the recording. But I'm enjoying this video.
Okay, let's do a little quiz.
Ooh.
Which of these rooms was the room you found your 3rd mini Stan? Can you remember? Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the 3rd one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your 3rd time doing anything.
Is it? I'm curious about that now. Now that happens.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No, we've never been in here.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was by the red and blue doors. I remember it
Red
so
and blue
clearly.
doors.
In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
Ooh.
Enjoy.
It's like a really shitty CapCut edit, but you gotta love it. Bro, let the narrator become an editor at this point. He's in the wrong profession. The quality is the quality. Not the cringy image. Edited, music, produced, best boy. Here it is, best boy.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a
Yep.
lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Kinda creepy, but I know this ain't no horror game. They're not gonna jump scare the shit.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here in the warehouse. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Yep.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay.
Okay, yes, this spot in the warehouse. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more.
Okay. Kind of bossy if you ask me, but you do you, boo. I'm not watching that presentation.
And here's where I made
swear
that
to God.
video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yeah, it just happened a second ago.
Yes, I love that video.
Not the narrator trying.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
No, I think that we're going past the limit of
These really
figurines
were a
now.
treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
There wouldn't have been, but you know, I think this is a prize for you, so yeah.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Collect them all, you can collect them all. Apparently, yeah, no, this was in the demo. This was in the...
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember
No.
hating it back then.
I
But
want the
time
jump
does put a
circle
rosy
back.
filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past... Oh, yes! The two doors! Who could have
That's
forgotten that?
a
A classic
staple.
memory, this one.
For the purpose of this, they have us going in all
And
the
before
same.
everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
Nope.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Oh?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make
How
big
different?
decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to
Very.
imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown
I feel
old.
like
I
that's
want to
people
think for myself again.
literally just
I want to
play
go
video
back
games
to
and
how it
read
used to
fan
be.
fiction.
Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll
got
be stronger
this.
this time. I'll take
I
care
believe
of
in
myself.
you.
I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what?
He still is.
Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yeah, that was fun.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, Internet, this is going to be the end of our video. I truly hope you enjoyed. And to see more videos, and there will be more parts of Stanley Parable, I plan on posting Luma's Fortune either tomorrow or Tuesday. And then I need to finish Dark Deception, Agatha's. I'm either going to finish it without recording it, and then I will play the second part, or I will finish it on recording. It's all going to play out, not too specifically, not sure that's going to work yet. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and adios!